What a weird finish on WWE's Monday Night Raw. Main event came down to, Seth Rollins and Finn Bálor. Winner was going to be added to the Elimination Chamber, getting the last spot, and I guess you can call it the wild card pick. Where they took all the losers of all the matches and basically said, this is your last shot to go to the Elimination Chamber to be part of the main event at WrestleMania. The winner of the Elimination Chamber match for the Monday Night Raw brand will be fighting against Brock Lesnar for the championship. Of course, Brock not booked for the Elimination Chamber. He's not going to have a championship match before WrestleMania, which gives him a huge advantage, especially with the Elimination Chamber being the last big match that this competitor will face before going to WrestleMania. But they are packing the Elimination Chamber with 7 competitors for the first time. Of course, there is 4 pods on the outside, and I don't really know how they come up with who's going to go into what pod, who's going to be released at the first time. But with 7 competitors, it means the Elimination Chamber will now feature a 3-way for the first 5-minute segment of the actual match. This match is going to be, I guess you can say, headlined by The Miz, who lost the match to John Cena. The Miz will be coming out in the number 1 spot. John Cena will now be coming out last in there, and I don't know how we find out who 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be. But this match is going to be stuffed with the likes of Miz, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, John Cena, Braun Strowman, Elias, and Finn Bálor. Right off the top, I always have to go into my, I guess you can say my man crush, Finn Bálor. The reason that I continue on watching wrestling, someday he will be holding that Universal or WWE Championship and be on top of WWE again. I know that they're building the story to get him there. And I know that, Triple H has endorsed this guy as his guy, and that someday, when Triple H is fully in control, that this is the guy that is going to be on top. He got his little run when he won the belt at that SummerSlam, beating Seth Rollins, but we never got to see where that was going to go because of the injury. Now that he's come back from injury, we're going to be working up to 1 year back, and he's been in some matches that have shots to go after the championship, but has never really been able to get back in that spot. I'm hoping that it's going to come sooner than later. We saw Seth Rollins really step up to the plate against Kurt Angle on Monday Night Raw, basically saying that he wanted to turn this into Monday Night Rollins once again. He wanted to find his way to be in the main event. He wanted to find a way to be champion. Rollins is a guy that definitely is going to be taking a step forward. At this time, I think the WWE is really focusing on Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. From looking at the last year, building up into Roman versus Brock, I think that is the storyline that they've had, on the chalkboard. How do we get here, 1 year away? Roman has done just about everything over the history of WrestleMania, but he is not the most loved guy in WWE. I think that honestly has, Vince as well as the writers, banging their head against the wall. I've in my mind, in the writers' room, I hear them saying, why don't they like him? Why are they always constantly booing? What can we do? Who can we have him beat in order to have him get over this hump? Braun Strowman, someone that is not always, shoved down our throats, but is always, involved in matches. He's won a lot of matches. He's lost some matches. I think that he is somebody that people have fully got behind. But if they did make him that number 1 guy, I wonder how the fans would really react. I mean, it would be something new. It would be something fresh. It's not Roman Reigns. I'm not sure that they would, throw their hands up in the air and all run to the merch stand and buy a Braun Strowman shirt. But I'm not saying that people are going to hate seeing Strowman versus Brock again. From there we go to Elias. Elias is easily the one guy in this match that it's not going to win. He's not going to be going to WrestleMania to fight against Brock Lesnar. And it is entertaining to see him in this match. You always have to have that one guy. And Elias is either going to go one of 2 ways. He's going to be one of those guys that comes down to the final 3 guys in the Elimination Chamber, wondering, how he's got that far, or he's going to have the edge exit where basically the second he's in this match, he's out of the match. And that'd be pretty cool to see. From there we go to The Miz, Intercontinental Champion. As of right now, lots of rumors about him having a match against Finn Bálor at WrestleMania. I'd like to see it. I don't think that he really fits in here. And Mr. John Cena, #1 guy, Big Match John. Always fun to see him in the Chamber match representing the Monday Night Raw brand. But you got to be wondering, are they building up to Cena versus Undertaker? That is the match that everybody wants to see. That's the match that everybody's asking for. We haven't heard any Undertaker rumblings since that, big Monday Night Raw, the 25-year anniversary. We haven't, heard anybody mentioning Undertaker in promos. We haven't heard them mentioning him on the commentating team. Normally, if they're building up to something at WrestleMania, even though they're making it very obvious, they're still talking about the guy, trying to keep him fresh in our minds. So when he breaks down, I think that they'll be doing something with Miz versus Bálor, which crosses them out. Elias, there's no way that he's going to do it. So that basically leaves us with Strowman, Cena, Roman, and Rollins. When you look at John Cena, he was one of the guys that I thought had a chance to win the Royal Rumble, even though Nakamura was my pick, because he's John Cena. At any minute, they can decide, we got to put this guy on top. He gets us into the most markets. He's the most fan-friendly guy. He's the guy that people pay to see, even when he's not really around all that much. We need this guy to be on top. But I'm really holding out for that Undertaker match, so I'm not thinking that he's the guy who's going to get it done. Strowman, I'll tell you the truth. I don't know where he fits at Royal Rumble. I don't know where Strowman fits at WrestleMania. I don't really see me picking him, even though I think that him against Brock would be a really good one. When it comes down to the two members of the Shield, having Rollins and Reigns in there, I read something online. I think he was just a fan on Twitter basically saying that it's very obvious that Roman versus Brock is going to be the main event of WrestleMania. But if you want to do a payoff and a re-up, have Rollins in the whole match, doing a rematch from WrestleMania 31. Brock would come in as champion. He would face off against Rollins as well as Reigns. In the three-way, where you have the friendship of the Shield, but at the same time they're fighting for the championship. Both of these guys want to be #1. I think that is a very entertaining match that they could do. I think that was a rumored match for WrestleMania 32 at one point, but it just ended up not really coming to be. Triple H came back, he became champion, Rollins was injured, wasn't able to get himself back into shape, and Roman ended up main eventing that WrestleMania as well. If I had to put money on this, I think that that Reigns is my pick to win the Chamber, go on against Brock. We've been talking about this for well over a year. I think that's what they're going to do, but I am looking forward to the show. It's a week from Sunday, and we'll have to see what goes down at the Chamber.